So we're going to pause marinated takeaways right now for
Yep.
some
Mm-hmm.
breaking news here. And speaking of the defense clicking on all cylinders, this is a big hit. Willie Gay
Yes.
has been suspended by the NFL for the January arrest in Overland Park on misdemeanor property damage, and the suspension will begin immediately. So they will not have him for the next 4 days. We were unsure if this would eventually turn into a suspension. I did not think that if it did, it would be 4 games. I'm a little confused as to why, if this was an off-season thing, how the decision didn't come down to include the first 2 games of the season, but it is what it is. It finally came through the wire here. And so I'm going to pull up the schedule right now for a second. And that means he will
Wow.
miss games against the Indianapolis Colts, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Buffalo Bills. And so that is a significant hit to the defense, John.
Yeah. Well, this is why they have Darius Harris on the team. He actually played very well when he had to fill in when Anthony Hitchens and was it Gay who was out then
Yeah,
a
he had to
couple years ago?
step in, and I believe
Yeah,
it was
and
Hitchens. Yeah,
yeah, and he did well in the preseason this year, and found himself earning a spot on the roster. So I think we're going to see opportunities for him and also for Leo Chanel. It's next man up.
yeah,
This is what happens. And
yeah.
I'm stunned by the number of games for this.
Right.
But the NFL has its own way of doing things, and they continue to prove it over and over again.
Yeah, and we know that, and this is the benefit of the situation for off the field. We know that Willie Gay is in a better place. Remember, he had gone through some
Sure.
mental
Yeah.
stuff last year. This was obviously something that wasn't good. It seemed like there was a situation with him and it's domestic, and it was called misdemeanor criminal damage. Gay was at his son's house visiting. He and the mother got into an argument during which he broke their vacuum. I remember Ian Rappaport at the time said no one was touched beyond the broken appliance, and he was charged with destruction of property of less than $1,000, and it was in jail in January. And now you're getting the personal conduct policy. We haven't seen the league. I can't recall them really tapping into the personal conduct policy recently all that much. I'm a little surprised that this got a suspension at all. I'm very surprised with the length of it. Again, the problem with the league and these suspensions is there's no precedent or rhyme or reason, and
Mm-hmm.
so
Yep.
I get it. You have a personal conduct policy. Everyone knows the rules, but like it's just a little random for me. Like, why is it
Mm-hmm.
so random? You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
you can't ever really predict, is this even a suspension? And if it is, like what are they using to say, okay, it's 4 games instead of 2? I don't understand. That's my only like hang up there. I think the Chiefs will be fine. I think they'll attack the second level. The opposing team's going to start attacking the second level a little bit more consistently early in the game. So the backups are going to have to play well. But my complaint is just I don't get the rhyme or reason of the league.
Well, we rarely do. And there are plenty of people outside of Kansas City who would use Tyreek Hill as an example. There are plenty of people outside of Kansas City who didn't read the same news stories we read
Right.
while all that was going on. They only followed the first headlines that came out of that situation and believe that Tyreek Hill should have had a very long suspension instead of none at all. And so another example, from a different perspective of how random this can be. I think they did the right thing with Tyreek Hill. And, I'm not sure how this ends up being 4 games. And so I'm right there with you. This just seems totally random to me.
And that was people's
I get that
complaints in
they want to
Cleveland.
do something, but why not a game? Why not 2 games?
That was the complaints in Cleveland with Deshaun
Sure,
Watson. It's like,
sure.
so it's just 11 games, right? Like how did we land here? Like I don't
Yeah,
know. I just think I think it needs to be a little bit more transparent of when certain guys get suspended for different reasons.
I
It
agree.
just it feels it. I keep saying the same thing, but it feels too random. And here, this from Ron Kopp tweeting, our lead analyst, who you can hear right here on the AP Podcast Network, talking about a young Chiefs defense that is faster and more aggressive. Wille Gay was at the center of that enormous loss for the unit on an upward trajectory. I mean, we were just talking about how great the defense looks to start the
Mhm.
year, and this is something the Chiefs are going to have to overcome. But look, there's adversity during the NFL season. We've already seen the rookie Trent McDuffie out for the next 4 games, and now they will be without Wille Gay as well.